So I was listening to all of my books by the time high school came around. But this was my accommodation. And again, I had to always ask for all the things. So I had to mail away for all of my books. It was always on me, which again, this always tends to happen when you're in a marginalized state. So it was the good people at what's now called Learning Ally, but back then it was called Recording for the Blind and Dyslexic, that would send me my science books. I see some heads nodding. But in this particular instance, which is right around report card time, I was a little pissed at the good people at Recording for the Blind and Dyslexic, because my science textbooks had not arrived. Thus, I was forced to read them with my eyes, which I can do, but at a much slower rate, and didn't have equity. And guess how that translated when the report cards came home? The report card's sitting at the dinner table. I'm an only child, so it's just mom, dad, me. And he's eating, and he pulls out my report card, and he looks at it, and the first thing he says, "What happened in science?" The class where I hadn't gotten my audiobooks, right? I'm like, what about what happened in English? How did English turn out? Got an A in English, right? I'm impulsive, he's impulsive. Explosion. I run upstairs to my room. He follows me. And all of a sudden he just stops. And he says something that was probably the most powerful sentence anyone could say to me at this time. He just says, "How could I have helped?" How could you help? Well, you could have read it to me. Would you like me to read it to you now? No, I got other stuff to do. Unprecedented, wildly calm. It says, "I'm going to read it into one of your tape recorders?" Sure. So I hand him literally this tape recorder, and he marches off. He starts recording my science from chapter 1 while pacing back and forth in his room. Our house has paper-thin walls, so I can literally, it's getting louder and quieter and louder and quieter. And after a couple of days, this comes up.
Sensitivity to general stimuli and the specific sign stimuli to which it responds. For example,
That's my dad back in the late 90s reading my science to me.